I'm a young Cree woman and a survivor of what has been called the Millennium Scoop. Authorities removed me from my mother when I was 8 years old, and I spent the rest of my childhood tossed between at least 15 different foster homes and group homes. I spent precisely one day with someone from my family group. I was one of the many thousands of Indigenous children who represent only about 5% of Canada's population, yet represent more than 50% of children in foster care. My mother was a survivor of the 60s scoop, one of the 2,000 or so Indigenous children scooped from their families and communities and adopted out to primarily white families. And her mother, my cookum, my grandma, was a survivor of the residential school system. My story is tragically common. The cycle of assimilation that began with residential schools did not end when the last residential school closed its doors in 1996. Instead, it continued to operate under a different name, the Indigenous Child Welfare System. And it continues to this day in a form of unacceptable overrepresentation of Indigenous children in care. The federal government made no effort to have me remain within my family, within my community, to help me remain connected in a meaningful way to my culture, or even to ensure that I was aware that I had rights as an Indigenous person in Canada. Something we learn early as a foster kid is to never get your hopes up. Right now, we will take this important victory and we will soak it in. As I said at the offset, it feels both surreal and incredibly validating. So we are going to enjoy that. We are going to hope that Canada reflects on this and decides that it's time to stop fighting off-reserve Indigenous children and youth. We are no less harmed by the system, and we are no less Indigenous. We hope that Canada sees us and does the right thing.